Over the past 4,000 years, some 34 bloody conflicts have occurred near the city of Megiddo and all along the fertile fields of the Jezreel Valley. Great kings and leaders of the Bible, and even the 18th century Napoleon Bonaparte, all saw Megiddo as an important military objective. But why? Why was Megiddo so important? And why does the book of Revelation speak of Megiddo as Armageddon? Megiddo is known by many names, but none more popular than the name Armageddon found in the book of Revelation. Armageddon comes from the Hebrew word har, meaning hill or mountain, and the Greek name Megiddon from the town known as Megiddo. Armageddon, or the hill of Megiddo, is literally situated on a hill or artificial mound called a tell, and is located on the eastern side of the Carmel mountain range, approximately 15 miles east of the Mediterranean. A tell is an Arabic word meaning mound, and on this artificial mound, archaeologists have found successive civilizations built one right on top of the other. As one civilization or town was destroyed, eventually another was built on top to take its place. The earliest of these cities belonged to the Canaanites, who built massive walls for protection and established a fortified entrance on the northern side of the city, one during the 18th century and the other near the 15th century. Not far from the gate stood the palace of the Canaanite kings. It was large and elaborate with rooms built around a courtyard. Gold jewelry and ivory artifacts found in the palace treasury provide evidence of the wealth of the kings of Megiddo and their political and commercial links with neighboring lands and cultures. There was also a large grain silo and storehouses, which indicates that this was a highly important city and a center for commerce and trade. Megiddo also had a unique underground water system which came from a spring outside the city walls. To protect that spring, Megiddo covered over the opening and dug a 230-foot long tunnel for city inhabitants to reach the spring from within the city walls. As one moves further up the tell, a new civilization begins to emerge, one that is peculiarly Israelite in its architecture and material remains. The construction of a casemate wall, a 6-chambered Solomonic gate, a 4-roomed pillared house, and the remains of numerous animal stables are present with room for hundreds of horses. Not surprisingly, the Bible lists Megiddo as one of the major Canaanite cities defeated by Joshua, and then later reveals that it became one of the fortified chariot cities of King Solomon. All of these discoveries reveal a level of sophistication and complexity associated with a grand city of enormous importance, but equally important, and why the city grew to such significance, has to do with where it was located and what it came to represent because of its location. The name Megiddo means a place of crowds, and over the centuries, multitudes of individuals have either inhabited this ancient city or passed by it on the way to either trade towns and rival countries. In Bible times, the kingdoms of Israel and Judah often found themselves wedged between the powerful empires of the Mesopotamia to the north and Egypt to the south. With the Mediterranean on the west and the Arabian desert to the east, this geographic region became a land bridge for caravans of traders and conquering empires. As they traveled through the land, they would eventually run headlong into the Mount Carmel range and would have to choose one of 3 narrow passes through the geographic roadblock impeding their progress. One of those passes went near Megiddo, which lay at a crossroads for trade. Megiddo then was a commercial gold mine and became an important military objective for those seeking control of the area. King Saul, Solomon, Ahaziah, Josiah, the Egyptian pharaoh Necho, Tiglath-Pileser III of Assyria, and even Napoleon Bonaparte all understood the importance of capturing this important city and the valley below. Win at Megiddo, and you will secure your nation's future. With Megiddo's monumental importance in view, we can now make a connection between its significance in history and why God would use it as a symbol of victory in the book of Revelation. When Revelation was written, Rome was an imposing force controlling the Mediterranean world, including much of the commerce and trade. It was Rome that had control of the trade cities and Megiddos of the world, and at times had been oppressive in the exercise of that control. Knowledge of Megiddo's location and history would have served to encourage Christians who were suffering and being marginalized by the Romans. In Revelation 16, where the Battle of Armageddon is referenced, the context of that chapter shows God's judgment being poured out on the Roman Empire and on all those who had persecuted the children of God. Later, in Revelation 19, when the symbolic Battle of Armageddon is described, Jesus, the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, marshals his forces and annihilates the devil, asserts his dominance, and brings heartache and failure to the emissaries of the evil one. The message is clear. Satan will not win. Just as both Joshua and Deborah defeated the Canaanites in the valley near Megiddo, so Christ would defeat Satan's allies, the Roman Empire. Just as both Gideon and Solomon controlled the valley of Megiddo and thereby rewarded the nation of Israel, so Christ will win at the spiritual Megiddos and reward the saints of God. Thus, the Battle of Armageddon revealed in the book of Revelation isn't a literal battle to be fought someday near the tell of Megiddo, but rather it's a symbol of good triumphing over evil and of Christ dominating Satan and his allies. To this day, Megiddo continues to stand as a symbol for control and dominance, but it also stands as a reminder of the accuracy and the reliability of the Bible. Its history, location, and the discoveries made here are yet another reminder of the important connections between faith and fact right here in the land of the Bible.